Hello and welcome, my dear fellas. Um, yeah, I gotta say that all picks are staying. Uh, yeah, we'll just do a discussion. We'll just do a brief discussion, and that's it. I have less pain right now. I mean, my back hurts, but kind of less today. Kind of. I see there were no problems with the veins, so all the everything is going to stay. Yeah, everything is going to stay. All the bets, all the picks. Um, Gonna be fighting. Hey, how are you, Caravaggio? How you doing, man? All the picks stay. Yeah, yeah. I didn't change anything. All the picks staying. Remaining the same, yes. Yeah, one could say big weekend. No, no, I didn't. That's a good one. Did it really sound like a fart? Did it really sound like a fart? Tag by decision plus 7-0 plus 4-5-0. Huge drop. Hmm. It seems people believe in Pac-Man. Maybe he farted, Caravaggio. You see? You see this guy? Maybe he farted. Hold on. Maybe he farted. Say hello. I believe in you. Thanks, man. I believe in you too, man. Let's hope. Let's hope we're gonna have good results. Above all, I want Kopilov to win. Let's try, man. Looking forward to it. Hey man, feeling better yet? Kind of. I'm on painkillers though, but I'm sitting. I can walk normally, I can run very lightly. But starting next week, I will be able to train something. No, won't be able to do all training sessions, but something will be available. And I got to undergo physical therapies. I'm paying for that medical security, so yes, it will cost, but I'm already paying for that, so it ain't gonna be too much. Like in my state, uh, when you pay, medical insurance, the state covers, I think, 60% of your problems. Then you cover 40%. I think it's something like that. Train lightly. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I will train lightly. Only probably BJJ, you know, only BJJ, only some kickboxing. Probably won't be able to do wrestling for a while, but it's fine. You know, it's pretty much fine. I can do private sessions. About work, my boss told me that I can be a laborer if I want. And that's also fine because as a laborer, you don't work much, and I can't sit for another week. So it's better to be a laborer than doing nothing. We have good judo coaches in Bulgaria. I would assume yes. Judo is not, sambo is our national sport, not judo. But yes, you have good judo coaches, of course. But our national like martial arts are sambo and wrestling. So we have better coaches for sambo and wrestling, but of course, there are good judo coaches. But I have never trained judo, so it's true that my second coach is a judoka. Judo was his first martial art, but he is a mixed martial artist now. But judo was his first martial art. But I don't know many judo throws, only few of them. And I only go for judo throws when I don't have a choice, literally. My back, uh, well, I'm on painkillers, but kind of better recovering. I'm able to walk. I can run very lightly, recovering, but very slowly. Favorite play of the day, Kopilov to win. That is my favorite play of the day. But I from Tuesday, I didn't change anything. I stay with the same picks, going with Gautier to win. You know what are three of them. You know what are my picks. Let's see. Hope many wins. Same. Kopilov minus 230. I think minus 230 or minus 225, something like that. Fedor has the best judo MMA. Very simple techniques, but done at a high level. Actually, Fedor is a sambo fighter, which is a combination of judo and wrestling. But yeah, I agree with that. But yeah, he has black belt in judo. I know, but he's a sambo fighter. But yes, you are right. The simplest and the most effective techniques, right? Yes, Roman Kopilov to defeat Paulo Costa. Yes, I'm actually confident in Ateba Gautier to win. He has hard strikes, but odds are not too much. I didn't play risky on this card. Actually, Roman Kopilov 80%. Put big money. Lapin, Usyk, Magzayo, Picasso. I would play the same picks. Lapin, Usyk, Magzayo, I agree. Picasso, I also agree to win, but gonna be razor close. But I think Picasso decision or maybe late stoppage. But about Usyk, I don't know how Dubois can win. Only some kind of early stoppage. Paulo Costa was shaking in the press conference. Not only in the press conference, what about veins? 185 is a big problem for him to cut. Maybe Costa doesn't want, you know, much of the exposure anymore. Maybe he's closing to the end of the career. Training with Russian judo team too, I read somewhere. Yes, he did. Didn't consider as a substitute fighter for the Russian national team. I know. Fedor is having tons of judo techniques. But yeah, stylistically, the fella is a sambo fighter. He was always saying that he is a sambo fighter. But sambo is the most effective. No. Like one of the guys, that guy from Dagestan who trains with me, he's a sambo fighter. Hello, Mason. When I asked him what is your fighting style, he said I'm a sambo fighter. Nicaragua, amazing. I was like, sambo? He's like, yeah, combination of judo and wrestling. This is a national martial art in Dagestan. It's humid. Yeah, I asked him like, what are your specialties, etc. He says, I'm a sambo fighter. I prefer wrestling, but I'm a sambo fighter. He doesn't even consider himself a mixed martial artist because in his brain he's a sambo guy, and that's fine. Got Max Holloway on a single. Any recommendations on parlay? Uh, I think Holloway wins, but if you must pick a method, then decision. But I would say Holloway to win via like or late stoppage or decision. I think Holloway wins this time. Yes, I will stream tomorrow. Yes. Imagine Alexander Karedin or Jordan Burroughs in UFC. Burroughs would get kneed to the face pretty much early, but Alexander Karedin would have been a suicide for majority of the opponents. Alexander Karedin could slam opponents. Roman, quickness, technicality, footwork. He is not stronger. Costa's only advantage is power. Karedin will dominate. Yeah, Karenin only had one MMA fight and he dominated completely. Imagine Karenin who knows to strike, who knows to box, and who knows to ground and pound. Karenin would dominate, but Jordan Burroughs would get a knee to the face early on. Karenin is too strong, too athletic. Yeah, but he was having 280 pounds. He would have to shred to 265, I guess. Costa is just stronger, but that's it. Costa's only advantage is his strength. Costa has very low output. Yes, Hem. He's a different fighter to when he was on his championship fight. Kopilov can wrestle now. Kopilov can do anything, but I doubt he will wrestle. He can wrestle, but he stays away from wrestling, which we've seen in the fight against Chris Curtis, where he should try to wrestle, considering that Chris Curtis is a top tier striker, but he chose to strike with Curtis, which was insanity. I mean, I would never have guts to strike with Curtis, but I don't know why Kopilov chose to stand and bang against Curtis. This was total insanity to me, but it worked for him. Think that easy fight damaged Paulo Costa's mentality. He has never been the same after that fight. I don't know what happened to him, but he has never been the same. Maybe something happened with him. Who knows? Yes, Barrios ML, yes. Guys, do you think Pac-Man has a chance? As a big fan of Pac-Man, I say no. Imagine picking against one of your favorite boxers. It's painful, but I still say no. Same. No? Say no? No, no. And I hate myself because of that, but my answer stays no. Very much same. That's it. I'd say the same. Why are people so high on Lupin? I think he could lose. I think that fight has a big potential to go into deep waters. Yeah, he could. He could. But if I must pick a side, I would say Lapin. But yes, he could lose. It's true. About Pac-Man, I would love to see Pac-Man winning, but it's pretty unlikely. Not only because for he's 46, I don't think that's a major problem, but he had political career. He didn't train too much, you know. Barrios is a killer, man. I know how Pac-Man could win. And he have a lot of distractions. I think Pac fight could go distance. Same, but I think Barrios wins. Barrios is a cardio killer. Can it go the distance? Yeah, I agree. I agree. It could go the distance, yes. Also, maybe this stream will not be as long as the previous ones, but I assure you, I assure you, in the future, no, tomorrow I will cover the whole card. So no, got to. I was streaming every single day while on vacation. It just speaks about my dedication and my, I'm willing to, I'm willing to engage with my fans. Not like majority of people are only, trashing, trolling, promising. They are not dedicated like me. Even when I'm injured, I stream. I mean, tell me some people who do that. I can lay and stream. So that's what I discovered right now. I can lay and stream. If back starts to hurt, and those physical therapies are challenging, so my back will start to hurt sooner or later again. And but I will lay and stream. And don't worry about that. You will not be damaged because I will lay and stream. I was thinking, man, if I'm too tired, fans are not guilty. If my back are fucked up, fans are not guilty. Fans are not guilty because I'm injured. Right now, thanks God, my back are kinda better, but I need one more week to recover and to undergo physical therapies and. But I'm thinking, I'm just loudly thinking, my fans are not guilty because I'm injured. Why do you use kettlebell for conditioning? Unfortunately, I don't use any strength because I don't do strength exercises. I only do core exercises because I work in the morning and in the afternoon I have MMA sessions and in the evening I stream for the fans. So if I have time in the morning, then I would definitely go to the gym. But sometimes in the morning, when my job allows me, I go and do other training session with my other coach. Zloчин Usik doing strength and condition training. He seems to use the Soviet-inspired exercises. Golovkin also uses Soviet stuff. Yeah, but Usik is a professional. No, like I'm just training for my professional debut, but that's it. But we'll see how it goes. I need to negotiate. By the end of July, I need to go and to visit that organizer, and we will talk in person about that event. But he is willing to give me the boxer he promised, and he says, "I know that you're training. I see you're dedicated. We'll see." He told me just don't get knocked out, and I'm gonna give you another shot. If you get knocked out, I don't call you anymore. How does that sound? I said that's fine, perfectly fine by me. Yeah, it's hard when you work full time. Did a little competition too, but only amateurs. Yeah, I know. You also work probably. I work 3 jobs, man. This is my job number 3, but I don't even consider this a job because I love this. I actually love this, but I don't even consider this a job. But I'm a construction guy and a soccer referee. It is difficult when you work full time. But yeah, I work more than full time. If you don't count YouTube, then I work full time. If you count YouTube, then above full time. But fighting is fighting, I'm a fighter. I can't pretend. I'm a fighter. Just that type of a guy. I don't know what is easy life. There are many days when I come extremely tired. But I just got used to it. I say to myself, okay, that's the sacrifice you got to pay, and that's it. Not much negotiation about that, right? I'm actually sleeping pretty well on this mountain, which is good. 5 days on the mountain, I'm refreshed. I really needed this. Yeah, actually, funny thing, I'm always sleepy on this mountain. I was born and raised in the mountains, and funny thing, when I get back here, I'm always sleepy because it's an elevation. It's on 4,000 feet, and I normally live at around I believe 1,000 feet, but this elevation is 4,000 feet, and I'm sleepy all the time. So TF said that's the secret to success. Live in the mountains, fresh air, clean water. I was raised in the mountains. Uh, I was born in a city near the mountains. Then I spent first month of my life in the mountains. We got back to Serbia. Then we returned to Bulgaria since 1991 till 1994, and I lived in the mountains for 3 years, from year three to year six. Then I got back to Serbia again. But mountains shaped me. If you don't work, there was no food. You had to create your own food. It's very difficult to live in the mountains, but when you get used to it, it's fine. Also, when you're a kid, it's every visit to a doctor is pretty much complicated. We used to have a doctor back in that place. Like I was 5 kilometers out of the city, and we used to have a doctor. But if you wanted some bigger doctor or a dentist, you had to go like 40 miles. You had to drive 40 miles, or it was pretty challenging. But we had to live like that. We were pretty poor, and there were inflation. There were heavy inflation in Serbia. We had to move to Bulgaria until that inflation calmed down. But Bulgaria was okay, but it was the Iron Curtain was removed in 1990, and Bulgaria stopped being a part of the communist bloc. These were difficult years. 1991 to 1994 were extremely difficult years. The economy was, transitioning, transforming, difficult years. I watched a documentary where Sadulaev took Al Snyder to his home village in the Dagestani mountain. You understand why these guys have success. Because they got used to having nothing. They got used to that they are poor, they have nothing. And I lived in a small place which didn't have a population of 1,000 people. since age 3 to age 6. I lived in such a small place, and you don't even want to know how difficult it was. Because nobody cares whether you're a kid or not. You got to work. Because if you don't work, there won't be enough money, there won't be enough food. Literally, everybody has to do something. In the free time, I was playing with cats. That's what I was doing at the free time. But majority of days, we were working. But winters were extremely tough. No field work. You couldn't do anything at winter. I was only playing with cats at winter. Dad, my grandpa and my grandma were feeding animals, but basically you can't do much in the winter, especially when it's a big snow. They live only to train and fight. It's crazy. Every kid is training. Yeah, that's true. I didn't train when I was younger, but in the mountain you have to work, so it's all kind of a training. You have to work, man. You have to grind. That's amazing, man. Also, I'm telling you, one of my sparring partners is from Dagestan, and that guy literally, how to say, he is training whenever he can. When he's injured, he says, I'm injured, but he comes to help us. But he says, I'm injured, I cannot do this or that. He tells you nicely, listen, I'm injured, but we can do this, this, this. I'm like, fine. Yeah, they live to train, but hard thing about him, he's saying that he misses his family all the time, and I understand him. He's got, I think, 5 or 6 siblings. He's saying, I like Serbia as a country, but the only problem, I miss my family, man. And I say, okay, but you can do video calls. You can do. He says, yes, man, but I was living with my family for 20 years, and now he is saying it's pretty challenging. But he got used to it. The wrestling club was mainly Persian guys, but we sometimes had some Chechens and Ukrainians. Amazing. Did you have Dagestani people or these guys he says he likes Serbia as a country, but the only problem is, because he misses his family. He's saying, man, I would bring at least my brother or my sister, or, he says, I understand that mom and dad are in Dagestan, that's normal. Like, I separated to train, that's okay. But he says, at least I could bring my brother or my sister because he ain't got used to being alone. Like, he has a big family, and this is very, very challenging for him. And I told him, like, okay, bring your sister, that's not a problem. He says, but she doesn't know English. I'm like, okay, but which job could she do if she doesn't know English? Like, majority of people don't speak Russian here, and that's a problem. He learned English pretty well. He is like, you can understand when he talks, but he understands you. If he doesn't know some word, he uses Google Translate, but he understands when you're speaking. He just says that's the only thing that is a problem here. But aside of that, he says it's okay, perfectly okay. And also he hates heat. Like he says, In Dagestan, it's never above it's never above 80, 85 Fahrenheit, almost never. That's what he says. And in Belgrade in summer, it's over 100 Fahrenheit, and he gets angry all the time. He can't train when it's too hot. I mean, he can, but his performance is like super horrible. And I asked him once, what is happening, man? And he said, come on, man, you're a mountain kid too. You know the drill. I said, yes. And he is like, then you understand me. He gets angry when it's too hot, just like me. I think that Dagestani guy and me are the only two guys in my dojo that get angry when it's too hot. Only the two of us get angry when it's too hot. But my teammates are okay with that. But me, I don't know how they handle that. Hats off to that. I understand that they are young, etc. But even when I was 18, 20 years old, I was always getting angry when it was too hot. And my dad was like, come on, man. I'm like, no way. I cannot handle heat. And my dad was always criticizing me because of that, but he was, for him, heat is normal. For me, it's not. Well, you may not believe me, but Mukaev used to train at my gym occasionally. Why wouldn't I believe you? Why wouldn't I believe you, man? I'm not that type of a guy. I'm glad to exchange stuff with people. Why not? Mukaev, huh? That guy might storm PFL. Did pretty well in the UFC though, but I guess he's not too profitable for them or whatever. Why wouldn't I believe you? That's great, man. You train with big people. Because people say a lot of bullshit in the chat. I wouldn't blame you for not believing. No, I'm not that guy, man. Why? Why wouldn't I believe you? The easiest thing people can do is like make a fake profile and "Yeah, I'm going to throw this guy because my life is miserable." And then he makes another profile. That's majority of stuff that people do, but generally, no, I wouldn't believe you. If you trained with him, that's amazing. It's amazing, man. I'm actually very glad because of you. Yeah, but when you have to work full time, it's difficult. I understand the drill. Working is sometimes pretty challenging and pretty difficult. Yeah, my back are still kind of fucked up, but I'm on painkillers. Life is easier on the painkillers, ain't gonna lie. Bit easier. I mean, still difficult, but easier. Yes, easier. Yeah, I would believe you. Why not? Wouldn't be wouldn't be much a problem to me in the first place. I have to go. Good luck with your picks this weekend. Same to you too, fella. Thanks a lot for staying in the chat. No, it might be a bit too early to give predictions, but dedication, all the time, dedication, full time. Yeah, that's the deal. I'm guilty because their lives are missing. Just keep looking, keep on clocking. I have to but oh, I have to walk a bit. Wow. Yeah. I hope you like my panties though. These are actually summer panties. Yeah, these are summer panties. Well, hard it can be to discuss with people who are always right. Try to stretch a bit. Hey mate, how you doing? Feeling better today with my back. Okay, I'm on painkillers, ain't gonna lie, but at least I can sit today. With pain, but I can sit. How you doing? Are you feeling better maybe? That's good to hear. I'm recovering, but slowly, very slowly. One more week when I get back, I'm getting back tomorrow. I'll have to go 1 week of physical therapies and we'll see. But yeah, there will be more lane streams in the future because those physical therapies are actually um well challenging. But okay, that's the life I chose. Say hello. How old are you? 37. I know many people don't believe my true age, but see, I look younger. People think that I'm 30, 28, 29. Believe it or not, I'm 37. Kind of weird, but that's my real age. Imagine a guy making his professional debut at the age of 37. Crazy, huh? But okay, life is too short to regret. Yeah, Romero is like 50 and he's still fighting. I'm training every day, but that first fight, I'm training for it because if I lose my first fight, I'm fucked up. If I win, I will be getting more invitations to fight. That's how they told me. So I could have accepted some other ones, but this one is, that promoter literally told me, if you win, I invite you again. If you lose, doors are closed. And I'm only training for that match, for that guy. I just hope he ain't gonna pull out, but I'm training for him. I will be battling, fighting, and that's it. No backing down anymore. But if I don't work full time, it would have been easier, but I work full time. But okay, my boss is full of understanding. Next week, because I cannot sit and work my normal exterior wall job, I asked him, can you give me something else? He said, well, do you want to be a laborer? Because I can carry stuff. Though my back hurt, but I still can carry. Pain is going away, etc. And he said, well, you can be a laborer. I will pay you the same. I said, fine. He was like, you accept? I was like, yeah, fine. That should have been October, if nothing changes, unofficial though. It's unofficially confirmed, but it's not official yet, though. He told me in October. Yeah, yeah, boss is fine. He told me, well, if you can't work your job, you can be a laborer. I'm like, only to carry things from point A to point B. He said, yeah, can you do it? I said, well, I cannot sit, but it doesn't mean I cannot walk or I can carry stuff. No, my back only hurt when I sit for a prolonged period of time, which is going to be resolved next week on physical therapies. And he said, fine, I'm fine with that. If that's okay to you, I'm fine. I'm like, great, man. Yeah, he is very good. Very, very good boss. I can train starting next week, but I cannot train everything. I cannot wrestle, but I can do kickboxing. I can do jujitsu. I can do, ground sections. There are some things I can and some things I cannot do. But I can train, but I cannot train everything. Like if you think full training, probably in 2 weeks. I assume in 2 weeks, probably full training, but there are things I can do. I heard deep back muscle. It's called transverse abdominis, deep back muscle. I think it's detached or something like that. Like I think they told me it's detached. Literally after 10 days, this is the first day I can sit normally. I mean, it hurts, but I can sit. No, previous days I was unable to sit without painkillers. If I don't take a painkiller, there was no chance of sitting for longer than 3, 4, maybe 5 minutes. But now I can sit. I mean, I took one painkiller only, but I can sit still. The recovery goes slowly. They told me like this injury to heal fully is like 3, 4 weeks. I assume it's gonna be three. I hope it's gonna be three. Yes, I do. I have two coaches. My head coach and my secondary coach. I do group sessions with my head coach and I do individual sessions with my second coach. I have two coaches. How old opponent? I think he's 35, 36, something like that. Think so. Think he's 35 or 36. But he's a boxer. But very good boxer. No way I can strike with him. But on the ground, I have 100% advantage. But in stand up, I can't call myself a horrible striker, but I don't consider myself good striker. Compared to him, I'm not good in striking, but on the ground, advantage is mine. My takedown offense, well, it has improved, but it's still not too good. But my Imanaris are amazing, you know. Imanari rolls are amazing. De La Hiva attacks and 50-50 attacks. I'm actually very good with that. But yeah, if I can't take him down, he can't stay away from Imanaris, from De La Hivas, from all kinds of other attacks. Or I can even sit on the ground or try to pull guard, you know. If I do anything that is pulling guard or going to the ground, I have the advantage. If we stand, he has the advantage. Yeah, unlike Ryan Hall, yes, extremely boring guy to watch. In the stand-up, I mean, I can strike, but I do have a Taekwondo black belt, but I don't consider myself a good striker. Even my coach says that I'm not a good striker. He says I'm a fair striker. My coach is saying that I'm a fair striker, but not good. My wrestling not good. My wrestling is actually horrible, but BGG is excellent. Yeah, I'm that boring guy. I know I won't be too entertaining to watch. I know that. But if people don't like it, what can I do? I actually don't have any belt, believe it or not. I rejected, when we had seminars for the belts, I rejected. My coach is saying I should be having blue or purple belt according to my knowledge. But I rejected seminars. When there were seminars for the belts, I just said, listen, I'm not interested in that. He was like, okay, whatever you say. But he says my knowledge is at the level of a high blue belt or a purple belt, even. And that boxer, he has, zero BGG knowledge. Best doesn't mean shit anyway. I know. One of my teammates doesn't have a belt in BGG. He's also a blue belt and he's got 3 buggy choke victories. So you're right, belts mean shit. Belts don't mean much. You're right, belts mean shit. Like BGG, I love it, man. If you have a belt, that's good. If you don't have a belt, who cares, literally? If you have knowledge, knowledge matters at the end. At the end of the day, knowledge wins, not the belt. In BGG, if your opponent doesn't recognize your submission attempt, you have the advantage, and that's the whole philosophy. That's literally the whole philosophy of the game. I mean, in MMA, BJJ, like BGG, that's different. I don't plan to compete in BGG tournaments. I don't want to do it, literally. MMA is my life, and that's it. You're right. Belts mean shit. Exactly. For example, my other coach, he has a blue belt in BGG and he's finishing black belts. How crazy is that? He finishes black belts in BJJ sparring, and he has a blue belt. Ryan Hall gave to Poirier a hard time. Well, it was problematic for Topuria when he was going for Imanaris for leg locks, but Topuria won. But yeah, it's difficult with Ryan Hall on the ground. Very difficult, especially heel hook threat is always looking around. Bro, can you say paras bišt, takšil bišt, Milan Singh? Paras bišt, kill bišt, and Milan Singh. I tried, whatever that means. With my accent, it probably sounds funny, but that Manshir Kera is gonna fight in the UFC, man. See, India will be having another contender, which is great, actually. I've noticed that Indian fighters who train in the USA are actually very good mixed martial artists. And it's good. Actually, it's good because it's really good because India deserves more spots in the UFC. Like so many people and so little spots. Very much unfair. But I hope it's gonna change in the future. few more minutes I will stream then. Yes, it's gonna be enough for me. I think this should be it. Not many people tonight, and yeah, that would be it. See ya. Love you all. Tomorrow we cover in the event.